Hello and welcome back to the Pilates for Horse Riders course. I am so happy that you are here with me and exploring the great benefits that Pilates can have for us horse riders. So in this lesson we'll delve into the crucial topic of shoulder stabilization for horse riders. So the function of our shoulder girdle is so important, especially if we think about riding, is because obviously we want that stable and good hand position, and we want to be able to communicate with the horse through the rein aids. And the function of our shoulder girdle and the stabilization of our shoulders actually plays a huge role. And I think that maybe we are not talking about it enough. So in this lesson we're going to talk a little bit about anatomy, but I might make completely another video where we go a little bit deeper, so we don't have to spend so much time on that. And we're going to look at some exercises that are going to help stabilize and strengthen your shoulder area, and also help to achieve a better hand position and a better connection with your horse. So the function of our shoulder girdle also plays a huge role for maintaining proper posture, and also just the overall upper body control. So through specific Pilates exercises we can develop the strength, the stability, and also mobility required for optimal shoulder function. Now, if we look a little bit into anatomy, what's important to understand is that that our upper limb actually is connected to the rest of our body just through our collarbone, and there's this little joint that connects our upper limb into the rest of our body, and it's not like really stable joint either, and that's why it's so important. And it's all these muscles around our shoulder blades and around our shoulder in general play a huge role. And now if we think about the horse, actually the horses even don't have that little bony structure connecting the front limb to the rest of the body. Actually, the horse's front limb only connects through soft tissue. So there's like no bony joint that connects the horse's front limb into the body. So, and in the horse we talk about the thoracic sling, and the function of the thoracic sling is so important for the overall function of the horse's body, and also for the overall health of the horse, especially the musculoskeletal structures. But that's again a topic for completely another video. If we think about our shoulder blade, if this is our shoulder blade and this is our rib cage, our shoulder blade moves on the rib cage, and there are some very important muscles that are going to support our shoulder blades and the whole shoulder girdle, and which play a huge role. So one of the most important ones is serratus anterior, and that's a muscle that we are concentrating quite a lot on these exercises that I'm going to show you. So that muscle does many things, but what is really important is that it brings the shoulder blade and stabilizes the shoulder blade on the rib cage. So when the serratus anterior and also some other muscles are not working correctly, then the shoulder blade might come a little bit stick out and not be like flat against the rib cage. And that's what we want. We want the shoulder blade to lie flat on the rib cage. And now I'm going to demonstrate that to you. So I hope you can see my shoulder blades now. And now I'm demonstrating what we don't want to happen. So we don't want our shoulder blades sticking out like this. I actually have, this is a huge problem for me. So what we want is that our shoulder blades lie flat against our rib cage. So now they are not sticking out as much. And now they are sticking out again. I hope you can see this. So we don't want the shoulder blade to come off and stick out like this. But we want it to lie flat. And now I'm going to show you an exercise that's going to really strengthen the serratus anterior. So we're going to come on to all fours. I'm going to show another way of doing this that is going to be a little bit easier later. So now I want my palms aligned with my shoulders and also my knees aligned with my hips. And now I'm going to find my neutral spine again. And also, when you are in this position, try to keep your elbows soft so you don't overextend your elbows. And carry your head as well, because quite often in this position, people let their head hang down like this. So we want that neutral alignment. And now I'm going to show you again what happens when I'm not supporting my shoulders correctly. So now my shoulder blades are going to come off from the rib cage and are going to stick out. I hope you can see this. So how I can activate the serratus anterior is that I push a little bit away from the floor like this. So now this fixes it, and I'm kind of spreading my shoulder blades out to the sides a little bit. I think I'm going to check this just in case. So it's quite good. And this is actually how you can strengthen the serratus anterior. So you let your rib cage come a little bit closer and let that support go a little bit and relax the muscles around the shoulder. And now again push away from the floor like this, so you activate those muscles. And try not to round your back. This sometimes happens that people start rounding their back, but we want to keep our spine neutral and we want that movement to happen more in our shoulder girdle. So again, I'm going to relax a little bit. And then again I activate those muscles and I push out away from the floor. Remember that neutral alignment. And when you're doing it correctly, you should feel the muscles working here. So it's here, it's kind of in the armpit a little bit. And now I'm going to relax again. And now I push out. Now, if I want to make this a little bit more difficult, I find that support around my shoulders. And then I lift my other hand a little bit away from the floor. Now I really have to work with my left shoulder, and this is actually quite difficult for me. I really need to push away from the floor. I bring my hand back down, I find that support again, and now I do it with the other hand. This is actually quite a difficult exercise, and I'm really feeling it burning here. And I bring it back down. Good. And now we can also connect our breathing to this exercise. So I'll breathe in, I breathe out, I engage my core and especially the muscles around my shoulder girdle. So I take my hand off the floor, breathe in and bring the hand back. And again I breathe out, I engage my core and I also engage my shoulder girdle. Take the hand away from the floor and then bring it back down. Good. So this is one really good exercise, and I'm going to show you another way that when we are where we are leaning on the floor, so that is a little bit easier, and that's maybe a good place to start. If you find that your wrists are hurting in this position, then you can also try to keep your hand in a fist. So that might make it a little bit easier for your wrists. And also just doing it leaning on the wall, I'm going to show you in just a minute, might make it easier too. Now, these principles we are going to need as we move forward in this course. So I really want you to practice these, so then it will become easier and it will become more natural when we move towards a little bit challenging exercises. In the next lesson, we are going to talk a little bit about the structure of a Pilates lesson, and we're going to go over some starting positions that we haven't discussed yet. So now we have done some exercises standing up, we have done some exercises lying down, and then lying down on the floor, lying down on our back, and then we have done some exercises on all fours. And there are 3 more starting positions that we need to learn, so we'll look into them in the next lesson. So now I'm going to show you the same exercise that we did before, but we're going to do it leaning against a wall, so this is going to be a little bit easier. So the same thing, you want your palms aligned with your shoulders, and you want to find that neutral spine, just like we talked about previously. And now I'm going to show you, and I think you will see this even better than before. Now I'm going to just relax the muscles around my shoulders, and you can see how my shoulder blades come off from my rib cage. And now I'm going to activate those muscles, so I'm going to push a little bit away from the wall, and now you can see my shoulder blades to kind of widen out a little bit and come against my rib cage. And now I'll do it again. I'll let go a little bit, and now I push out and I activate those muscles. And again I relax, and now I push out. And now I'm going to do the other exercise where I'm going to take my hand a little bit away from the wall. So now I have my activation, and now I'm going to take my left hand away from the floor, and I'm supporting myself with my right hand, and especially the muscles here around my shoulder and my shoulder blade. Now, if I would let that support go, then this would happen. So now you see again my shoulder blade comes away from my rib cage, and now I'm going to activate again. So you really can see the difference, hopefully. I'm going to bring my left hand back, and now I'm going to do it with the other hand. So I really need to be keeping those muscles active and really pushing away from the wall. And now I'm going to take away my right hand and still keeping that activation, remembering to breathe. You can also connect your breathing to this exercise. And then I bring my hand back. So that's it. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!